Hey kid, do you like lipstick? If so, then today's for you. Because I don't know if you've noticed online and in stores, but the bougie ass lipstick has become the item of the fall winter season. I'm talking about those lipsticks that are refillable. They come in heritage or couture cases, and they are more expensive than your traditional lipsticks. So we're going to look at some today from, let's see, we have Louis Vuitton, we have Celine, Tom Ford, Chanel, Lisa Eldridge, and Dries Van Noten. We're going to look at the components. We're going to look at sort of the range and what's available, how intricate they are, and how the refills pop in and out. And we're going to do a little bit of a comparison to see if any of these bougie ass lipsticks might be right for you. If that sounds good to you, then please like, subscribe, follow along, share my links shop my links, and share me with any of your friends that you think might be interested in this kind of content. And yes, of course, shop my links. It greatly helps my channel and doesn't cost you anything. So the bougie ass lipstick seems to have become a big phenomenon in the past year or so, but they've actually been around for quite some time. If you're looking at the refillable lipsticks, Sephora has had some beautiful refillable lipsticks for a couple of years now. I think to the Prada lipsticks, which are really beautiful. I believe these are $50 a piece, and then the refills are $40. But they just pop out, and Prada, all of their lipsticks, both the hyper matte and the soft matte, as well as their lip oils and lip balms, come in refillable packaging. And that's a beautiful product. Prada's lipsticks are really beautiful. They have a very intense formula, especially the hyper matte. And I really like the lip oils as well. So this is kind of an introductory way to get into these. Other brands that are at Sephora that have the bougie ass version of the lipsticks would be like Valentino. Both Valentino's Spike lipsticks and balms and Valentino's Rosa lipsticks are refillable, and these have been available at Sephora for a number of years, and they just pop in and you can pop in the replacement. And I believe that these range in around the $50 mark, and the refills are around $40, although Valentino often has sales on their website. So that's a Sephora way of doing bougie ass lipsticks. And then of course another one that is really popular is Westman Atelier, which has their beautiful lipsticks, and these are more of kind of a soft matte formula in this gorgeous packaging, and these are refillable as well, although they've never really released the refills, at least to my knowledge, individually, but they actually have a beautiful component and can snap in and out, and so I'm hoping that they do that eventually, and they're also in the $50 range. I'm not really talking about those today because when I think bougie ass lipsticks, I also think lipsticks that are a little bit harder to get. And maybe that means you have to go to a retailer's website, or maybe that means you have to go to a specialty department store, but they're things that are not necessarily available on like Sephora. And all of those items, as beautiful as they are available on Sephora. So when I think bougie ass lipsticks, I think ones that come in very special cases. Maybe they're extremely weighted, they're made of a fine material, they're engravable, you can get your initials in them, and they come with really deluxe packaging. So the ones that I've thought of automatically, I believe the first one that came out last year, or maybe even a year and a half ago now, and it's the Chanel 31 Rouge lipsticks. Now these retail, I believe, for $190 or $195, and the refills are $95. So they're one of the pricier options, but they come in this beautiful glass container with brass. It's got the Chanel C's etched on the top, and just really gorgeous refill. It has a component that snaps right in, not a sticker to be found. Ignore the ones that I put on here because I have to put a sticker on so that I can read them. But the refills also come with a silver cap with the Chanel on, and they can easily pop in and out with kind of a locking mechanism. So those were kind of the first ones to come out. And then a couple of others that I don't know if you would necessarily call the Lisa Eldridge Rouge experience a bougie ass lipstick, because they're pretty reasonable. They're about $70 and the refills are about $30, $35. But compared to the other lipsticks that are in her line, they are her highest experience lipsticks. They can be engraved and they come in this gorgeous component that I kind of think looks a little bit like Mr. Peanut. It's very weighty and heavy, and it's got all metal parts. Just a really beautiful piece, a nice component, and also there's not any real plastic to be seen, although I think that this part down here might be, but if it is, they've made it look like brass. So these are a really beautiful product, and I consider them a bougie ass lipstick because Lisa Eldridge is still kind of difficult to get in the United States. And if you order Lisa Eldridge, you know that because the shipping can be very slow, but that's because it's coming from overseas. Beautiful product though. I think that that's a great price point if you want to get into these kind of higher end lipsticks. Now, another one that I really love are the Celine lipsticks. And these, I believe, range $76 and the refills are around $50. But they have this beautiful brass component, just really, really stunning. Easy to refill, pops in and out. There is plastic down here, but Celine is only available pretty much on the Celine website or in Celine boutiques. I can get refills at like the Celine boutique at Saks, but it's not available on their website, on the Saks website. But this is really beautiful. It's got La Rouge Celine etched on it, Paris on the back, just a really stunning component. And so I think that these are one of my favorites of this kind of formula. Another one that's very kind of interesting and kind of challenging to get because they're not in traditional stores. They are in upscale department stores like Bergdorf Goodman or some of the flagship Nordstroms. And of course, they're available on their website, are the Dries Van Noten lipsticks. Now, these are kind of interesting because they have this gorgeous component that I think is around $70, but they've got 8 or 9 different components to kind of mix and match, and you can mix and match them and make your desired look. I selected this one because it kind of matches one of my favorite perfumes from them, but it's a really beautiful component. And then it's also pretty easy to just snap out and refill with others from the Dries Van Noten series. So these are a really beautiful lipstick. And then I think the two big ones that have really hit the market this fall were the Louis Vuitton La Bouteille lipsticks, which just spectacular packaging. It's got the little see-through where you can see in and see the color. It's all brass and metal. There's not a sticker to be found on here, and just really beautiful. And the locking mechanism on these is really interesting. It's the Louis Vuitton flower, and then as you see in here, it's also in there. I believe that these are $160 and then they're $69 for the refills. So it's definitely an investment, but it's a look at that magnet. It's so satisfying. It's definitely a beautiful investment piece, and they have such a wide variety of colors and refills that I think that these really, along with their eyeshadows, of course, caused quite a commotion this fall. And then the newest entry just came out last week or a week or two ago, and it's the Tom Ford Reserve. Now you can get these in an all black, or excuse me, a black and gold or an all gold case. I got the black and gold because I really like the contrast. It's got the etched Tom Ford. It says that it is created from one solid piece of aluminum. There's no stickers to be found on here either. And a really beautiful component where everything's etched on or embossed on, and it quickly snaps into place. And so we're going to go into kind of a deep dive today into these. So let's start with the Chanel. Now this is the Chanel 31 Rouge, and I believe that they have 12 mattes and 12 satins. So they're a pretty expansive group, and these are really beautiful. These are the most expensive of the ones I'll show you today, although Dior has one up to this one. They have one, if you can believe, that's $595. Beautiful ceramic and gold component. But I can't justify that one for you, but you'll have to take my word on it. It is beautiful. I won't be able to compare that one for you today, but there are a lot of beautiful Dior lipsticks on the market. Chanel will be the fanciest or most expensive one we'll be looking at today. And I really like these. They are creamy. The matte's very interesting because it goes on relatively creamy and then it kind of has a powdery feeling to it. And I have 2 shades of these, so I'll show them to you. This first one is Rouge Talisman, and it's a beautiful kind of brick red color, really beautiful. And then the second one that I have is a satin, so I can show you both formulas. And this one is the Rouge Intimissimi. Actually, that's not a satin. I always thought this was a satin, but it's another beautiful color. It's kind of a really nice burnt nude color. So these are really great. I will need to try one of the satins and report back to you. But what's really interesting is after these set, they really do turn into a powder. I think these are a little bit thicker than some of the other ones we'll look at today, but they are really beautiful nonetheless. And so, like I said, I believe that there are 24 options, 12 and 12 for these, and the component is really stunning. I think the general feeling with all of these is that they're trying to create sort of heritage components that you can hand down, or kind of keepsakes where you buy one component and then maybe you can buy the refills and store those. And so that's definitely what Chanel has done. And like I said, I believe these are $195 and the refills are $90 or $95. They also come in this beautiful leather case. They might win the case award for these, with a little magnetic closure with the little C's on them. So a really beautiful gift as well. So the next one we'll look at, like I said, I don't know that I necessarily would consider this in the same, because it's really a great way to get in. Let me grab a towelette. My hand's gonna be raw when I'm done with these. But it's the Lisa Eldridge Rouge Experience lipsticks. And the reason I include them is because Lisa Eldridge is still challenging to get in the United States, and she has a lot of beautiful lipsticks in her line. This is her most premium sort of featured one, and the component is just really stunning. You can get your initials on it. They are around $60. The refills are around $30, so they're definitely the most affordable. But you would not know upon trying these that these are the most affordable. They just feel so beautiful on. They're all kind of a soft satin formula, and I have one today to show you. And this is the one, it's the new holiday one. So it's going to be a bold color, but let me show it to you. Really stunning. This is in the color, see why I have the stickers, Scarlet Sequin. There are about 15 colors total. I believe, actually, I think there might be 14. I think there's 12 in the permanent range, and then Dreamy Damask and Scarlet Sequin are ones that came out for the holiday season, so they'll be limited edition. They're also a little bit shinier than the rest. They have some sort of microfine shine in them. But these are a really beautiful component and a beautiful way to get into this without investing so much as some of these others. Now, the next one I will rave about because I love the Celine lipsticks. These are challenging to get. They're only available on the Celine website. There are 15 colors total, and they have a very wide range. In fact, the one I'm going to show you today, and they're all in the satin formula, is called Night Clubbing, and it is a very intense purple, but the component on these is absolutely gorgeous. I will say that a lot of these are heavily scented, and the Celine one is as well. I don't believe the Lisa Eldridge is, and I don't detest a big scent with the Dries Van Noten, but the rest of them are, although I will say they dissipate rather quickly. These are somewhat similar. I think the Lisa Eldridge ones perhaps are just a little thicker. The Celine ones are a little thinner, but they're the same as far as pigment. The Celine ones just feel extremely comfortable on, but they're both kind of a similar finish, and so that's why I wanted to show you these together. These are $79 and then $50 for the refill, and the component is absolutely gorgeous on these. And these also come with a little velvet pouch that says Celine on it. So a really beautiful gift as well. Now the next one I have is from Dries Van Noten, which is available at Nordstrom and Bergdorf Goodman, but it's not one that's just terribly easy to find, although they do have a wide variety of colors. They have mattes, they have satins, and they have balms. And they're really interesting because they come in these beautiful components. There's about 8 or 10 that match the different sort of patterns from the Dries Van Noten collection. And if you were to say get 5 or 6 of these, you could refill and switch them and make them kind of your own. But it's a beautiful product, and the component is absolutely gorgeous. It says Dries Van Noten on the top. The one thing that's a little strange about this for the price is that it's not magnetic. It's a clicking kind of mechanism. But when you take the refill out, which is relatively easy to remove, it won't stay together. So it comes with a little, do I have that? I might have put it up here. It comes with a little tube that holds the two pieces together, but that's a little annoying. But that's a minor thing. But they also have, like I said, a balm, a satin, and a matte. And so I have 2 satins today and a matte I'll show you. This first satin is called Stanley Orange. These have a similar consistency to the Lisa Eldridge. This kind of bricky orange color. And then the next one I have to show you is, let's see. We have Archive Red, which is a matte. This is a little trickier to get in and out of. But this is Archive Red, which is a matte. I would say it's a very, it's not a flat matte. It's got a little bit of shine to it, but a very pretty color. And then finally, I have Romantic Nude, which I believe is a satin. Yes. A really pretty color. So these are from Dries Van Noten, and they're kind of in the middle price-wise. Of looking at some of these. They're not as high as the LV, the Tom Ford, or the Chanel, but they're not as affordable as the Lisa Eldridge. They're on par with the Celine ones, but really beautiful. I would say that these remind me a good amount of the Lisa Eldridge ones. Okay. I love that component. Really beautiful. Okay, so now we get to the Big Daddy ones, which are from Tom Ford and Louis Vuitton. Now, the Louis Vuitton series by Dame Pat McGrath has 28 mattes, 27 satins, and 10 balms. And I really love the Louis Vuitton formula. Yes, the component is very expensive, but the refills are $69. So yeah, they're pricey, but it's a way if you buy the component that you can try the different refills. And I do think this and the Chanel and the Tom Ford are winning sort of the weighted heavy component game. This one is solid metal, and it has the beautiful etching on it with the Louis Vuitton logos. Hopefully you can catch that. It has the little keyhole so you can see what color's inside. Everything's etched on here. This is the top notch. And then, like I said, no stickers. This beautiful locking mechanism with the Louis Vuitton flower. And I love all formulas of this, all three formulas. I would say the balm formula is sort of a light coverage lipstick. So if you're thinking that it's going to be like a Fenty balm or like I'm trying to think of like a YSL Love Shine, it's not. It's very hydrating, but it's very tight in the container. So it's a very interesting texture. I pulled a couple today to show you. This first one I think is probably their signature color, which is Monogram Rouge, and this is a satin. And it's a beautiful satin, but it's not quite as shiny as some of the others. I think these are just really beautiful wearable lipsticks. The other one I pulled is a matte, and just to show you the difference. And this one is Great Escape. Really beautiful. I'm beginning to notice that I have a thing for certain colors. I guess maybe because it's the fall. But these are really beautiful. Just the craftsmanship on these alone, the LV etched in. These are a beautiful gift, would make a great like heritage type item to pass on. And the refills come with the little caps. So it's an interesting way to buy one component and then, be able to buy the refills. The newest entry is from Tom Ford Beauty, and it is their Reserve Lipsticks, and they come in this beautiful container. Like I said, you can get it in all gold, or you can get it in the black and gold, which I prefer just because the contrast. But it's got the beautiful logo. Everything on it is top notch. It's weighted. It's not as heavy as the Louis Vuitton one, but it's weighted. One thing I really think is fun about these, I'm a dork for packaging, is if you try to have the T's not line up, it will force it, which I think is just kind of a cool touch. This also comes in a velvet sleeve, so does the Louis Vuitton one. And there are only 5 of these right now. And I think some of the colors may actually be sold out, including one of the ones I'm going to show you today. But they're really beautiful. Let me show you. So the first one I have here is Design Nude. And it's kind of a satin formula. Real pretty. I like this a lot. And then the other one that I have is the one that I think is currently sold out, and I think it's going to be a real popular option for them, especially for the fall. And it's the one called Rodeo. A beautiful bricky red. I tend to have a thing, it appears, this fall for these similar styles. And they are kind of in line with the Louis Vuitton ones. price-wise. So obviously Tom Ford lovers are going to love this. The one thing I will say is that it does remind me a good deal of the Tom Ford fucking fabulous lipsticks that came out earlier this year. And these two come in a beautiful package. They're just not refillable, but they have this kind of leatherette packaging. And I pulled one here to show you. This is in, oh God. This is in rose. These are actually refillable. Huh. But I have not seen these sold as refills. These are creamier and shinier than the Reserve. So if that's something that you're looking for, or you want to buy a gift for somebody who really loves a shiny or creamy lipstick, and these are $69 versus the $160 of the others, these are a beautiful alternative. I think these are right up there with some of the best that Tom Ford's ever put out. As are these Reserves. They're very nice too. But there's so many more shade options in that fucking fabulous line. So what do we want to try on today? I guess we can try one on. Let me take my lip moisturizer off. I guess because I had a lip moisturizer on, we should perhaps try on a matte. So one I have never tried on camera, I don't think, are the Dries Van Noten ones. So I think that that's what I'm going to try on today. Because I've tried on all of the others in various videos. So I'm going to grab Archive Red from Dries Van Noten. Again, beautiful component. And we'll just try it on. It's not, I don't have a liner or anything. That is a bold orangey red. So much pigment right off the bat. Kind of foolproof though. And it also kind of, I would say this one doesn't dry down like a powder like the Chanel one. It's a little bit waxier, but a really beautiful formula nonetheless. This color doesn't at all go with my eye look today, but at least it shows you how these work. You know what? I've never tried these on camera, so I'm actually going to just try on all three for you. So let me grab the next one. So much pigment. And like I said, I think there's about 20 or so of these. And much like the Louis Vuitton, they have mattes, balms, and satins. So I have that one matte. I just showed you the Archival Red. And then I'll show you two of the satins. This first one is called Stanley Orange. Definitely won't go with this look, but beautiful nonetheless. It's a brick color. Heavily scented. Well, maybe heavily was the wrong word, but there is a light scent. It's a pretty color though for fall. And then finally I'll take this off and show you the last one, which is Romantic Nude. And that one probably will go with this look because those kind of colors tend to go with everything. Hence why I think I have so many of those from the different brands. Really beautiful cool tone nude with some rose in it. Yeah, I like that a lot. So final thoughts. I think for the sort of mid-priced range or the slightly less expensive ones, I really like the Lisa Eldridge. I think that's a great way to introduce yourself into this kind of format. I think that the Dries Van Noten is lovely. My favorite as far as kind of the middle of this pack though is the Celine ones. They're probably one of my favorites of all of them. I just think they're so lightweight and they have so much pigment, really comfortable to wear. And then when it comes to the premium ones, they're really outdoing themselves with these packagings. And like I said, I'm not even counting the Dior one. I think that they're all beautiful collector's items, very unique. But if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Louis Vuitton. I just think because of the shade range, and nobody does lipsticks like Pat McGrath. But the Chanel and the Tom Ford are both really stunning. So if this kind of content has been interesting to you, then please consider liking, subscribing, passing my information on to people who might be interested in this kind of content, and shopping my links. All of these lipsticks are available on the various retailers' websites. And like I said, you can get Dries Van Noten at Nordstrom and Bergdorf Goodman, Chanel, Tom Ford, Louis Vuitton, Celine. They're all available on their own websites, and Lisa Eldridge's as well. Although with Lisa Eldridge, you do also have to just be a little mindful of the fact that shipping can take a little bit longer. One way, if you're interested with Lisa Eldridge, is Selfridges also carries Lisa Eldridge. So if you have a Selfridges membership, that's a really great way to get Lisa Eldridge, although there's no United States carrier of Lisa Eldridge yet. You would think Bergdorf Goodman would jump on that one, but that's a great product to introduce yourself into these kind of lipsticks that are more keepsake, more passed down, share with other generations, and have a beautiful component, and then just buy refills. Expensive, but it's also better for the environment. So I guess you could say that you're doing something in that regard. Again, I hope you've enjoyed today, and I will talk to you soon. I appreciate you joining me. Bye.